Welcome everybody to Filler Feed episode 11. I'm here again, Mr. 0 aka Nathan, with my co-host, Mr. Eric Jacobson. And today we have some pretty awesome pieces of news, but as always, I think we'll lead in with our usual discussion generator. So, Eric, what have you been playing this week?
Well, you and I played Grand Theft Auto 5 with our good friend
Couple
Josh
friends. Yep.
and another friend,
Yeah, that was
uh,
pretty.
and that was nuts because we did a heist and we couldn't finish it because it was too hard.
Yeah, so the prison heist we attempted for about 2 hours, and
Yeah, it
I
was too
think
long.
I think the actual last part of the heist where you make all of the money only accounted for maybe like an hour of that, maybe like 45 minutes. But still, that's the first heist that you have to complete, and as like a level 12 because I think it's the first one that opens up, and it is one of the most annoying heists in my opinion because um, on normal or easy, I believe it is, you get one team life to lose. And that's like okay, so that, somebody can fuck up once. But when you play it on hard, which is where, I mean, the upper difficulties are where most of the money is at,
Yep.
you get zero lives. So, like, you have to essentially fight through this prison shooting security guards and essentially mercenaries, and like they hit really really hard and you have very little health, and it doesn't really regenerate. You only regenerate to have health. So
And I
um,
think honestly the real problem is that when you die, they start you back like
yeah,
really far. Because
yeah,
like there obviously could be some checkpoint pieces, but I think the problem with that is that we're all doing different shit. So it's kind of hard for them to like be, I don't know, maybe it's not that hard. Maybe
not
maybe
really.
start wherever one person was whenever the other guy got a checkpoint. I don't know. But like I had to steal a bus and then I have to blow up the bus and then I have to get a helicopter and start shooting down planes. And that's very difficult to shoot down planes because I'm terrible at driving. So it's like we get like four planes down, just waiting for Nathan to get out of this prison, and I mean, someone dies, and we're all just like, "Damn it, we got to start all over again." And that happened like
Yeah.
8 times before we were like, "Let's just do this another day," because it was.
So I actually, like, yesterday I actually played in like just a random prison heist, and we actually managed to beat that after like three goes. But one of the things that helped us was that the demolitions guy, once he killed everything, he like hovered over the prison and shot rockets into the prison to kill all of the
Oh,
guys, and that was super helpful
that could
because
work.
yeah, because I was playing as the prisoner, and you actually, so like you have, for those who don't know, you have a prisoner and a security guard that like sort of hijack this prison. You only act as a prisoner to get inside of the prison, but like as the prisoner, you only have a pistol, and the other guy has to drop an assault rifle for you. And essentially, running out of ammo is super easy as the prisoner because you can blow through like they give you I think 150 pistol rounds, and it's a burst fire pistol, so you can blow through those rounds before like not even a third of the way through.
Yeah.
So like pretty much it's up to the security officer to make most of the kills, and he has like when I was playing as him, you essentially stay scoped down like a sniper rifle the entire time. Because if you expose yourself to more than two or three guys in the prison, like
Yeah.
they'll take away a lot of your health. So you pretty much like you just hard scope the entire thing. And it's hard for the prisoner to deathmatch essentially because with the pistol you don't really zoom in very far, and a lot of the engagements are really long range. So it's up to the security officer to sort of protect everybody. But yeah, that heist was annoying. And honestly, I don't know if it's worth the payout. In all honesty, like
Yeah.
I think
It's
maybe
a
the low
hundred
payout.
thousand,
Yeah,
which
that's on
sucks.
hard.
Um, 100,000 is a decent amount of money, but it's not enough to warrant 2 hours of work. It's
No.
really like it's probably 200,000 in total with all the other missions, but still, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like. I was considering even like I don't know if you can do setups faster. and make
Yeah,
more money than actually going on that. But I honestly, I think the way to go is either to do easy or normal because if you can, like, the ratio of payout to time spent in the heist is much better, I think, on easy or
yeah,
normal when you have a lot more leeway for error.
that makes sense.
So,
I don't know.
yeah,
We'll have to
GTA
try it out.
5. Still, I mean, I still have like I foresee so many hours spent in GTA 5 because
Yeah,
there's a lot still to do. I basically beat the campaign because that was just one of my goals, but like they kind of introduced a second game with GTA Online, which is the real game, I guess,
yeah.
considered by many people.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Even if you just like, because like it was always fun to dick around in Grand Theft Auto like in other games, but now you can do it with friends,
yeah.
and that's
Oh
amazing.
yeah, GTA 4. GTA 4 wasn't online, was it? Or was
I
it
don't
single
think so. I
player? Oh,
think it was single player.
well, that would make it considerably less
Oh
fun.
no 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 no! They had an online, but I don't think you could play with your friends. I feel like you could only
No,
just do a match,
I think you
and it was
can
also like
because
certain game modes.
I think you can invite Steam friends
Yeah,
because
I
I
never
remember
played
like
on PC. That's probably why.
oh okay
I played on my Xbox.
yeah so I'm pretty sure excuse me they had that feature but I think just the difference between GTA Online and like GTA 4 multiplayer is that GTA Online there's like a bunch of missions and actual
Yeah,
things to accomplish and level up and earn money and stuff.
I think GTA 4 was more like mini games.
Yeah,
That's what it was, like team deathmatch and stuff like that, where you couldn't actually like dick around.
yeah.
I mean, you could, but
Um,
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. What else?
so let's see. Other than
Or do you
GTA
want
5, I don't know. Have you been playing anything other than GTA 5?
just WoW? And that's
That's
annoying.
yeah, the
Talked about that
same.
enough.
Um, so I've been playing. I've actually started my new like summer video schedule. So I've actually been playing like I recorded some Hearthstone and Team Fortress 2, and I'm really sort of getting back into the Team Fortress 2 competitive scene, just
Okay.
very casually though. 'Cause I think I have the skills to be like a pretty good medic in terms of like comparing myself to just lobby players. And like you wouldn't understand this. This is more for my Team Fortress audience.
Yeah.
But like Highlander is pretty much where it's at for me right now because sixes is way too stressful. I mean, it's not too stressful. It's just like you get blamed a lot more if you die in sixes because a medic death in sixes is absolutely the world.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that
detrimental.
is a game winner.
Makes
So in
sense.
Highlander, it's like it's much more casual, and I really like that. The bad thing is that it takes much longer to get into lobbies and for lobbies to actually start because you need to organize 18 people,
Yeah.
which is kind of annoying. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. So I guess my loyal Team Fortress audience who stuck with me will be excited to hear that.
Nice.
Probably will be some more TF2 gameplay and stuff. But honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's just a phase. Like, I mean, I think everybody
Talked
operates
about
in
this.
phases, in gaming
Yeah.
phases. Like you've talked about this before, where like you're probably in a WoW phase right now. Like I'm just going back into a TF2 phase. So
Yep. And then I'll eventually get over it and play something else.
yeah, maybe go back. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Um, all right. So pieces of gaming news that I have actually like five or six here that are really exciting.
Yeah, no,
So first of all, we should go over the most important and amazing, and that is that Fallout 4 was announced today, and they released a cinematic trailer along with it.
which is amazing.
Yeah, so that released at 9 a.m. today. I was actually up to like see the countdown finish and stuff. That was kind of cool.
Nice.
But basically, I'm actually gonna play this video,
Oh, do that. Yeah.
uh, and maybe we could discuss some things. I would like to, first of all, I'd like to say that um, I have maybe 4 to 5 hours of Fallout experience altogether, including New Vegas and Fallout 3 combined.
Okay.
And I don't know how much experience you have, but I don't
Not
think we're
much.
the most experienced when it comes to Fallout, so just wanted to
Nope.
say that. Let's see. I'm actually gonna find it on YouTube.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you give me a link? We can both do it at the same time.
Yeah, if you let's see, I can
I
just
can do it too.
immediately. It's okay. So when I googled Bethesda at 9 a.m. when it just released, the official trailer was not the top search option, but now it is, which is kind of funny. All right, link going into Skype. There you go.
Okay, thank you.
So this is going to be there. And I think I actually have to resize this. Hang on a second. I don't know why OBS like randomly started just to de-shrink like oh, this is weird. It's like not the right aspect ratio.
Dude, this
OBS oh, anyway. Sorry.
no this video. I was just looking at the Reddit comments. It has 9,000 upvotes.
That's a lot.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, do you want to just like sync watch it?
Yeah,
Okay. I don't know if I'll get into trouble. I don't think I'll get into trouble by playing this on my channel because I'm sure a lot of news sources
yeah,
play this. Okay. So, are you queued up at 0?
yep.
All right, on go. 3, 2, 1, go. So basically, I was talking with a friend who has a little bit more experience in Fallout, and he thought that this video is placed more in the future, based on the I just turn this down. Based on like the advancing civilization that you'll see.
I figured it was the past.
I'm pretty sure it's in the future because
I don't know. We'll
um
see. I don't know Fallout at all. So I mean, he's probably got more experience than I do. As you can see, they're kind of like changing from apocalypse to like maybe the future, but
yeah.
it's more pristine. It's more upkept. You know.
So the scene with the dog is like present day.
Yeah.
But in a little bit, you'll see a sort of like cinematic camera flyby of like a city, and compared to like Fallout New Vegas, the cities were crap basically. They look like absolute garbage, and like this city looks actually really vibrant, which
Okay.
leads to my belief that it's probably in the
I see what you're saying. I thought you meant like um because like the picture of the like this, right?
yeah,
The colored stuff with the people running.
that's
I
in
feel
the
like that.
past.
Yeah, that's in the past.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened before nuclear fallout.
Yeah,
See,
so
they're all getting in the vaults.
here,
He's getting out.
yep, there you go. So like, there's an advanced spaceship. You can see lights and everything working in that city.
Yeah.
So
There's the
society
city in
has
the
rebuilt
background.
a little bit, but it's still sort
Yeah.
of a wasteland. Um, so what I noticed about this game is that I think I'm liking the graphics.
Yeah.
They're like a little bit better than Skyrim, and honestly, they should be because it's definitely like a new
Sure.
game. It looks. These are definitely acceptable graphics, so like I think we're good on that front. Now, obviously, this is a trailer, but it did show like some in-game gameplay, especially when he was
Yeah.
climbing out of the vault. But,
And
like,
it
even-
doesn't seem to be cinematic graphics. If it
Yeah,
were
no.
cinematic graphics, it'd be way better. So.
Yeah. But if you look like when he was looking at that robot, like the tools on the left looked really good. So honestly, I don't know if we can. I mean, it's a 50-50 whether we can actually judge like the graphics on a trailer like this,
Yeah.
because I don't know if it was rendered in game. I doubt it. Maybe
Yeah.
some of it, but
I mean, it seems to look like that. I don't know. Like, I wasn't impressed with the graphics when I first saw it. Like, it looks good and it's acceptable. Like, it's not gonna
yeah,
distract you from the game, but it's not pristine. It's not like
no,
top notch. So that's why I'm thinking that it's at least really close to the real game.
yeah.
It's
So
not amazing. You know what I mean?
I mean, like overall, I would just say good enough would be a
Yeah.
good description.
It's good enough.
But I mean, that's also like having good graphics in an open world game like Fallout. You're like essentially the equivalent, or like what you want to shoot for is something like The Witcher 3, I guess. Even though The Witcher 3 doesn't have the best models, but like it's a really tall order to have really good textures and whatnot in an open world game because you have a lot of things that you need to include in that world. So.
No kidding.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this, but I'm not like a Fallout geek, so I'm not like shitting my pants, you know?
Yeah,
It's just kind of a like, oh, this looks cool. This will be a good game, I suppose.
I'm definitely gonna drop launch title price on it because it looks that good.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
it looks like a $60 game.
Yeah, and like Bethesda doesn't really have a history of disappointment. If it's anything close to Skyrim, then it's instantly worth your $60 because that's, hundreds of hours of entertainment.
And honestly, I think they know like how fucked they would be if they screwed up this game. I
Yeah,
think they
well,
know
yeah.
how much backlash they would get because this game has such a huge reputation
Yeah.
for being so good, and I don't think they'll screw it up because they've done it this many times.
No,
Well, so
yeah, I don't know. I don't see much possibility, I suppose. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it's possible, but I doubt it. Um, trying to think what else. I mean, I don't know that there's anything else that we can really infer.
yeah.
Other than that, I mean, E3 is coming up, so hopefully we'll hear more about it.
They said that
Um,
there's a 20 to 30 minute gameplay um, demo that they're putting out at E3.
okay. So
So
that E3 showcase will be Sunday, June 14th at 7 p.m. Pacific
it's
time. So
very
that's going to
soon.
be
That's next, not next Sunday, but the Sunday
two
after, right?
weeks. Yep. Well, 11 days, but so we're recording this on a Wednesday, and that'll be not next Sunday, but the following Sunday. So yeah.
Yeah,
And yeah, so I don't know. Fallout 4 is looking good, and I'm excited. Yeah,
that's about it.
pretty much. Okay, so the other thing that I was really excited about, I'll just knock off like two of the best topics I have here, is the GTX 980 Ti was announced. And I guess I'm a little bit more excited because like whenever you're sort of shopping around for graphics cards, it is really fun. I don't know. It's just like, some women shop for clothing and like they have a blast with that. Us nerds looking at video cards is like the same thing. It is so exciting. So the GTX 980 is announced at $650 now, or I mean the 980 Ti. I want to make sure I get that right. And the 980 Ti is based on I'm going to quote this article, is based on NVIDIA's GM200 Maxwell GPU, so the chipset of the Titan X, and offers a oh, I'm sorry. The Titan X is based on NVIDIA's GM200 Maxwell GPU. The 980 Ti is a cut down version of the GM200 with a more reasonable 6 gigabytes of VRAM instead of 12 gigs of VRAM, which the Titan X had.
Yep.
But it does have a more reasonable price point, which is $350 less than the Titan X. So basically, this is a cut down version of the Titan X for much less money, and I think it's a really good deal personally. Because like even just looking up benchmarks, like this performs better than the regular 980. And I want to see how much the 980 actually costs.
550. $100
550.
more
Okay.
is the 980. Yeah,
So you
which
can
is about right.
so you can pretty much get for approximately $100 more. Um, GTX 980 versus. Oh, I actually had a link here. Let me look that up really quick.
Yeah.
Oops.
So the 980 is currently 600. Oh, that's no, it's like 560. There's some at 520. I'm looking at Newegg right now, so
Okay. I actually don't have the link, but I did see some benchmarks where the 980 Ti was performing, uh, like markedly better than just the regular 980.
yeah. So um, some of the megahertz are down a little bit versus the 980, but it's got like 2 more gigs of RAM, um, more cores, more texture units. I don't know what any of this means, to be honest. But the numbers are higher. Bacon would know. He's pretty
Yeah,
good at this. But
that's
I mean
that's that's who I was talking to.
all I really know is that the higher the number on the name, the better the graphics card. Because I currently have the 660 Ti, which is really old. Like that's now like $100, and I got it for almost three. It's like $90 from what I saw, and I got it for 300.
Oh, your 660 Ti?
Yeah,
That's $90.
I think so.
Wow.
I
Okay, so
just
that
googled
was
it.
that was like another thing that I wanted to sort of talk about. Um, so like you found your graphics card, and I also found mine in terms of current pricing, where like I bought my GTX 770 for like $400. It was like 450
Yeah,
bucks, and it's down to like $250 right now. So that's
yeah.
like half of the price.
Mine is more like 150. It's not 80. 80 was the eBay price, I think. So
Wait, what? Okay, the top search on Newegg still has that $450, but I don't know
yeah,
why
I
the
don't.
hell.
That's not. There's no way that's right. Because there, I've seen like three of them that are at 150, 145.
I think if I just go to shopping results in Google, I'll get something better. S it's still at 400 bucks. What the hell? I saw it at like 250. Cause
Oh
like
well.
from from Nvidia, it's $400, but like a super clocked version is like $550. This is
Yeah.
ridiculous. I don't know where. Okay, well, I guess scratch that.
Yeah. Either way, these prices are going down because new graphics cards are coming out. And nobody wants this. Like I don't. I'm
Yeah.
kind of. This card is honestly kind of out of date. Like I've run into at least one game where I've had issues, which sounds like a rich white person thing to say. For those of you who don't have a nice graphics card,
First
but
world problems.
um, it's I don't know, it's getting out of date because some of these new games are really heavy on the graphics. Like
Yeah.
I don't think I was even able to play like what was it? I was looking. I didn't buy it, but I think it was Metro Last Light, which is a really heavy game.
Yep.
I was looking through the specs on that. I think Metro Last Light. But
I
yeah,
actually have to like even with my 770, I actually run GT 5 at 1600 by 900 resolution
same here. Because otherwise it's really
cuz
slow.
yeah. And I mean, I add like at 1600 by 900 with I think everything's an ultra except for like I have a little bit of anti-aliasing, maybe like two or four times, and then medium shadows and particle effects. I think I average about 80 frames per second, and I mean that's like almost the bare minimum for me. The bare minimum is 60, and I mean I think that's the same for every PC gamer, but it's getting close. Anyway, the point
So
is
yeah,
that this graphics card, if it's $650, is very worth it, I think.
yep.
So
So
yeah,
can I bring something up that we didn't actually talk about before the podcast, but I want to talk about a little bit?
sure.
So Hatred was released
Oh,
on June 1st, so 2 days ago, and that's been getting a lot of shit because
yeah.
it's rated adult only. I don't
It
know if
has.
you were just talking about this last week. It's rated AO, which is really weird. Um, it's basically just a massacre. You go around and you shoot people and you execute people, and I don't know if there's a point.
There isn't. That's why it's
It
rated
says
adult only.
you take role of the antagonist fighting against all of humanity.
So, I don't know why, but Hatred has a 9 out of 10 on Steam, a 3 out of 10 on GameSpot, and a 2.5 out of 5 on Metacritic,
Yeah, Metacritic
which
gave
is
it a
really
50
funny.
out of 100. This is listed, which is that's bad. It's really bad. I don't know why. Like, why is it giving? I think like I don't know why it's getting so much shit. Like, yeah, it's rated correctly. It's a dark game. It looks like the mechanics are fine. It looks like the gameplay is fine. Looks like the graphics are fine. I don't know why it's.
Um,
I don't know.
So I watched I think I don't know if it was a WTF is, but Total Biscuit covered this game, and he said that it was like it wasn't even that good of a game. It's just it's just the fact that like you are the antagonist, which is making this game so popular, essentially.
Yeah, because
Um,
I mean, it kind of looks redundant.
yeah, because
Looks like it's the same thing
like
over and over again.
do you know isometric like zombie games? Like
Yep,
I made a game with zombies in it, for example.
looks like that. Yeah, it does.
It's literally this, but instead of zombies, you have civilians, and they're running away from you.
That's so
So
interesting. That's so interesting that we literally changed the name of the thing that we're fighting, and it's fine. Like this, it like I get that. Also the zombies are fighting back, which is a different thing. But like literally, like zombies are people. That's also that could have a morality thing going for it because these people, I don't know, these people are fighting you, but they're also people. You know what I mean? Honestly,
I
so I
think
get I watched Total Biscuit's video and he was talking about this about violent video games a little bit, and he made the point that there's no setup to elicit an emotional reaction in this game.
yeah,
There's no like he talked about Grand Theft Auto 5, the torture scene,
yeah,
which was a little dark, and the reason that people had an emotional reaction to that is because they set it up. They set up the guy. They made you talk to him for a little bit, and they made you hear his cries for help, and then you torture him. Like this game, you just start shooting people. There's nothing, there's no backstory to these people. There's no backstory to um like anything that's fighting back. There's like the cops don't have like a cool like story driven thing going on for them. It's literally just you start killing people.
yeah. That is definitely a good point. Because like okay, your average person might look at this game and be like, "Oh my God, you're shooting civilians. How terrible."
Yeah.
But experienced gamers will see that in order to make any sort of emotional connection to these fictional characters, you need like a story or something.
Yep.
And like to me, these are no more than just like killing civilians in GTA 5. They have no
Yep.
backstory. They're
Exactly.
just this walking animation which is essentially just a group of pixels for you to shoot.
Yep.
Like
That and
I
that
don't
like
know
you know,
I don't know
some
if it's
white
just
suburban mother is
desensitization, you
gonna.
know?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about too, because we were talking about whether or not video games do make you violent, and I don't think that that's the case, but I think that they do desensitize you to
Oh, I would agree.
at least a little bit, which that could be good or that could be bad. It depends on the level of desensitization and what you're being desensitized to. But I mean, I don't see it as a problem. Like we just watched Run the Gauntlet videos um, for a while, and that was fucked up uh, to me. And also, I wasn't like emotionally reacting. I was reacting because it was a little gross. But that may be caused by my video game experience, but it also may be caused by all the shit that I've seen on the internet. Um,
Yeah.
I think that like if you but it's so hard to just blame one thing, or I'm sorry, it's so easy to just blame one thing, but it's so wrong to just blame one thing because it's usually not.
Yeah, I mean, and like you can't like extrapolate this game to like the video game violence argument overall because this game is rated adult only and if like
You you have to be 18 to buy it.
this yeah, like that, but it's also like this game is so out there. This represents like 0.0000001% of all games. And to say that like video games cause violence because of this game is incorrect, I
And
would say.
also, I haven't played this game. You haven't played this game. There's a really large population of people that have not played this game. So, like, if you're going to represent all the population of people that play games, not just the population of games, but the people that play them themselves, it's a terrible argument.
Yeah.
And
And like
I
the
understand, like, mothers are worried about their children, and that's fine, whatever. But I think that they're not looking into it enough, and they're just jumping to conclusions because it's easy. And um, yeah, I don't know. Like I did a paper on this. I actually, I falsely, um, to my own beliefs, wrote a paper about how video games cause violence because it's way easier to find articles about how they do cause violence than it is to find articles of how they don't. So I literally wrote an entire paper arguing that video games cause violence and they don't. Every article I read was like, this is bullshit.
I'm still wondering whether this like this is so like there's no this game is completely overhyped because you are
Yeah.
literally just shooting pixels on a screen. There's no like it I don't know. I've played too many games where especially like GTA 5 when like okay, like again your average person would say, "Oh, you're running over civilians going 100 miles an hour in a muscle car. How terrible." But then again, like I play in this game and I'm like that's just like a walking animation that they've included to populate the city in this game.
Yeah, I know.
So, I don't know.
So I found this is kind of just for laughs, but I found this Tumblr page that's called fucknovideogames.tumblr.com. And the title of this is Hatred is a Genocide Simulator Developed by Neo-Nazis. Like I feel
I
like
think
these
the
people are
developers would
literally
have something to say about that.
yeah, I know. Like
Use
it's a game about glorifying violent racism and white supremacy. It's like, yeah, okay.
I don't know. This game is like I don't know if this isn't worth the media attention that it received.
No, it's really not. I don't
I don't
know.
know.
Like I get that it's like people are worried about it, but also it's literally like you're legally not allowed to buy this for your child. Um,
Parents
you
can.
are you sure?
Well, okay, like
Because I thought that was just M-rated game.
a
I
parent
mean,
can
you
walk
can
into like an a GameStop,
yeah,
purchase
and
this because
buy
they're
it.
over 18 and then hand
Give
it
it
to
to
their
them. Yeah,
kid.
that's true.
But
But my
like
point is that's not you're being an irresponsible parent if you're doing that.
yeah,
It's not the game's fault. It's your fault.
yeah. And I mean, like, in terms of the video game violence argument, I worry that like, so you did that article, you did that paper from or for College Comp, right?
Yep.
So were there a lot of scholarly articles on video games do cause violence?
Yes.
Because as far as I know from the little research I've done, there are a lot of like scholarly articles that actually do say video games cause violence. So like I feel like actually saying video games don't cause violence is somewhat
But that's again like
naive, I guess.
so I've read all these scholarly articles, right? And I understand that your point that you're coming from, but it's also a huge point, which we just talked about in a class that we took, is correlation does not cause causation, right? It does not mean causation, right? So if you have a bunch of kids and they play video games and then you understand that one of them is going to be a little more violent than the other, um, that's that may be a correlation, but it's not. It doesn't mean that when I play video games, I'm gonna go out and beat someone up. You know what I mean? Like I understand that the studies have shown that this might be a possibility, but it's also not definitive. It's definitely a theory out there, and it's also it's hard to extrapolate something from even just a few scholarly articles. Like
Mm.
I don't know. It just from what I've read, like even if it's a scholarly article, I mean it's a study and it happened, but it doesn't mean that it's foolproof. And it also, like you may have found a correlation, and that I can agree with. But that doesn't mean that I personally am going to be angry after I play a video game. I think I don't know. I understand your point. I think it just depends on the person, to be honest. But
Yeah, because there's
because
a
some
lot of
people,
variables.
yeah,
I don't know if that's I don't know. It's hard to really I don't know.
it is hard to say because I have not done the study, and I'm not like I'm acting like I know what I'm talking about, but I really don't. Um, this is just me kind of extrapolating from what I've researched. Um, but again, I don't really know, and I don't know statistics, so I didn't obviously absorb a lot of the information from these articles. But yeah,
Yeah. So, I guess the other thing that I have here is so Steam changed their policy on refunds, and this is like a big thing to me. That basically now when you purchase a game on Steam, you have either let's see, I believe it's 14 days or maybe it's
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, okay, so within 14 days or if you've played less than 2 hours of a game, you can return that game to Steam for a full refund. Now the reason that this is important is because like I've heard a lot of tales, especially, and I've ran into this when I had my older rig, where like if you play a game, even if you've read the minimum requirements, where like people will play a game and realize that they're playing at 15 to 30 frames per second
Yeah.
and they can't get any more, and like that's the reality of how they play the game. So now if you download a game, you find it's way too demanding on your rig, you can essentially just return it because so that you get money
And
back.
I also think the best thing about this is that the same applies for pre-purchase titles.
What do you mean
Um,
pre-purchase titles?
so
Oh,
like it apply first of all it applies for games that aren't out yet, like so like games in beta that you bought that aren't out yet, but also for games that you pre-bought, right? So like you pre-ordered. So if you pre-order something you're real excited about it and then you find out that it doesn't
it's
work.
garbage. Assassin's Creed Unity, Kafka.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet a lot of
So
people would have returned that. Would have
I bet.
returned it. Would have returned that game.
And also it works for DLC.
Oh,
Um,
that's right. Yeah.
if the DLC or virtually levels the game character. In some cases they said so long as the DLC has not been consumed, modified, or transferred. So I think it's kind of a gray area there. But
It's so the DLC thing is 14 within 14 days of purchase or 2 hours after you've purchased the DLC. Or I mean 2
2 hours
hours
after you
2 hours of game
played,
time. Yeah.
yeah, game time. So
So like this I think will help combat like pre-order bullshit a little bit
yeah,
because for example, Assassin's Creed Unity would be the prime example where this would have been important because if you have free purchase this game you've been waiting forever, you find out it's garbage and like you play for an hour and a half, you decide this like maybe you want to return it until maybe you watch more videos of it or something. Then you can do that and then
yeah.
purchase it again. But I like this. I don't know. I don't know what
Just
else to
there's
say.
so that's I suppose that's kind of a dumb question. I don't know why you do that. I was gonna ask if you could buy it, return it, and buy it and return it, but I don't think you'd need to do that.
I think you can.
Yeah,
I mean, it's. I'm pretty sure the hours of playtime are additive. So, like, if you buy it for an hour, return it, and then buy it again, you already have an hour of playtime in that game.
yeah,
So, it's not like an infinite system.
yeah.
And I mean, like, there's limited capacity to abuse this, I think. Although, one thing that's like, this will hurt games where total playtime is less than 2 hours. For example, one example that I have is heavy bullets. So like indie games, kind of like that, where you have this very simple sort of mechanic where like you shoot your way through randomly generated levels, and it's literally that like over and over and over again. People might basically just like abuse the system, and
Yeah.
once they get bored of it after like an hour and a half or whatever, they'll just return it, and like that kind of sucks.
I'm wondering if they'll change that with some games. The play time. But I
What
don't
if
know.
I wonder if you did it like price wise?
That
So
could
like
work.
$60, you have like 3 hours of in-game playtime, and maybe like a $10 game you might only have like 30 minutes or 45 minutes or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's one idea as well.
But I'm looking through my Steam list right now. There are games that I wish I could refund because I've only played like 15 minutes of them.
Yeah, but they are like,
It's like a 2 week thing, and it's too
yeah.
late, so
So yeah.
kind of sucks. But
Actually,
for
the
like
majority of my Steam games, to be honest,
yeah,
I'll return.
I have 151 Steam games, and I only have about a quarter of them installed, and only about three of them that I play frequently.
Yep. I
So
have I have about 7 or 8 installed, and I literally have my games sorted by games I will never play, which contains 2/3 of them, and then like
yeah,
multiplayer, single player, and mixed single and multiplayer. So
yeah. You know
that's
what?
always
Honestly,
good.
though, I think if I get a controller for my PC, like a adapter or whatever, I think I'll play more of these games because some of these games you just can't play with a keyboard, like The Witcher 2, um, Dark Souls.
Yeah, that's
Some of these
true.
games you literally just can't play. So,
Yeah, I would recommend that if you still have an Xbox controller, you can just buy a wireless adapter for like fifteen
yeah,
dollars,
I think I
which is
might do
very worth it. I mean, even for GTA 5 alone, because GTA 5 is so supportive of controllers because they know people like to drive and like
that. Yeah.
fly with a controller
Although I
more.
like keyboard with GTA 5.
Yeah, I mean it's personal preference, but
Yeah,
I think on average you'd find most people prefer a controller to
yeah,
drive and stuff.
I'm sure.
Um,
Well, what
okay.
else?
I have so I don't know, like this doesn't really pertain to you as much, but TF2 opened a maps workshop on Steam, and while this seems, I mean, this doesn't seem like a big deal because like you can already literally just go on a website and download a custom map and play on it. If you
Yeah,
own a server, you can then re-upload the map so you can play on it. Um, but like
but like
this this
you. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
this article I read says that like the sort of hidden bonus of this action is that you no longer have fast DL issues, and that's basically where every time you join a server with a custom map, unless like they have to upload a map to what's called a fast DL server, which stands for fast download, and that server allows users connecting to download the map. So if you don't have a fast DL server, if you're just hosting some server off of your laptop or something, and you don't have a fast DL server and you're hosting a custom map, then people literally cannot join your server. And what this does is it eliminates the need for a fast DL server because people will just automatically download the maps from the Steam Workshop, which is really nice.
It's nice. So I think that so you made a map. You recreated a Call of Duty.
Way long ago.
Yeah.
4 years
And
ago.
that wait, how long was it?
Like 4 years ago. I was 14 or
Wow.
15.
I thought it was like thought it was more recent than that. That's crazy. Anyways,
It was
so
before I
this
had a job because I spent so much time on it in the summer.
yeah.
Definitely before I had a job.
Um, but so you made that with a third party app, right?
No, it was the recommended. I mean, like Valve has a program to make maps.
Okay. So Valve has one, but it's not oh, okay.
I
So
believe it's called Hammer
this
Maps.
is pretty much so are you still using that program in this situation?
Yeah, you have to use that. I don't know if you have to. I think that's just the only map editor there is to make any Team Fortress map or Counter Strike
So
map or whatever.
so what I assume is that this is done solely for the reason to screw with the or to mess with the download, the FDL servers.
Yeah.
Like there's no other reason that I'm seeing.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
basically, it's a way for an easier way to provide access to maps for people.
yeah, okay.
Um,
That's fair.
I
I mean,
mean,
that's a good idea.
I really think Valve is building like a central hub of stuff. Like they're moving everything to Steam, which is kind of an interesting thing because like, you have the regular Steam Workshop, which has mods and whatnot and items and custom items for
Yep.
not only TF2 but any game, you know. And like Skyrim Workshop or yeah, the Skyrim Workshop has like mods and stuff, but like it's more of a move not only to move everything closer to Valve to so they have a central hub of stuff, but also to eliminate the need for fast DL, I think.
Yeah. So I'm. It's interesting that you kind of mentioned this, but like, Steam literally or Valve literally is putting all their eggs in one basket. Like they're dumping everything into this Steam.
Yep.
Um,
That might be a move for once the Valve console finally releases,
yeah,
because that way you can essentially like those games are basically you're playing PC but on a console, so
yeah.
you can still download stuff. Instead of having to access the internet, which you might not be able to do, although of course you will probably be able to. But like it's more of a pain to go on the internet on a console than on a
Yeah.
PC, so they can just auto
I
download stuff.
I literally forgot that that was still a thing
Yeah, I did too.
because they there's been nothing about it for years. That's so weird.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm gonna see if there's any like news on that Steam machine. I wonder if that's like when that's coming out. Oh,
So
wait, can you purchase these?
I
Oh,
think so.
available November 2015.
What?
Well, yeah. So they're here. Let me here. I'll link you to this. They
Okay.
have different options in Steam. I totally didn't know.
Yeah. So here I'm gonna talk about this just for a second, if even if I see I'm on the link. Um. So um. So a person and the average Joe doesn't know how to buy a computer, right? He doesn't know anything about PC specs, doesn't know anything about, like anything. He just wants to buy something and play video games, right? The average person is just going to buy an Xbox or a PS4 because they know that it's reputable and they know that it's good because everyone has been raving about it, everyone has one and everyone's playing it. So Steam really could have capitalized on this and said, okay, we're going to just join that, right? We're just going to make one console that's really good, um, that is highly reputable, like the Xbox and the PS4, that has all the Steam games instead of just some specific titles, right? They didn't do that. They literally gave you like 15 options where some guy's going to get overwhelmed and say, I don't know what the hell any of these mean. I don't know, um, why would I spend, $480 on the Alienware one versus $700 on the Asus one when I could just go buy um, like a PS4 for a set price and buy one thing and it's done, right? So like that, like this just I don't understand why they're doing like so many of these.
The reason is that, so I agree with you somewhat that for the average Joe this isn't like that good, but I don't think they're really marketing it to the average person. This is gonna be for somebody who's looking to like who wants not only a more powerful console but also wants to sort of play in the PC atmosphere, but still on a console like because essentially with these Steam machines, you can play with like your Steam friends on PC.
Yeah,
It's a really interesting market niche that I think Valve has found because they're saying, okay, we know that the console market is dominated by Xbox and PS3. So
yep,
instead, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of have a foot in both markets. We're going to have a customizable console that's essentially a PC. So they what they do is they market it as okay, here's a customizable console, and while you could go purchase an Xbox or a PS4 or whatever, you can customize your console this way and be a part of the PC race essentially.
but I
So
don't understand why you would buy this versus a PC because it's literally the same thing. It's just in a smaller box and in a different location, like next to your TV.
um,
You know what I
for
mean?
people
Like,
who like still prefer consoles over PC, but
what
they're
what is
they're
what
limited by
is
consoles.
what is causing you to like what is the preference over console?
What do you mean?
Like what would make me want to buy a console versus a PC? Like what's the preference? Why would someone want to buy?
It's so like a lot of people prefer like couch gaming. A lot of people prefer the controller.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people, and
that's fair.
like this is really appealing to those type of people. For example, like you and I both watched Painkiller already.
Yep.
Kyle is one of those people who who will never sit at a desk for like hours on end, but he'll sit at a couch with a controller and play
Yeah.
on his big screen TV. And it's people like that who are looking for more of a PC experience, but still in that couch atmosphere.
But I feel like I don't know. Like I understand the point, and that's uh that's fair, but I feel like this is a big project for something that's such a tiny market. Because like I could, if I wanted to, build a computer in a smaller case, uh, put it in my living room, attach it to my TV, and put the Steam OS on it, and I'd literally have a Steam box for I'm
That's
sure that's cheaper, right?
Yep, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, cause
I couldn't
it's
answer that. I don't know.
yeah, cause it and it's like I understand that this kind of it takes away the step of the middle ground, right? Like I don't have to go and find each part and build it. I can just click it and buy it, and it ships to my house, and I'm fine. But um, they're giving you a million and one options, which I think is kind of filling in that middle ground of me just trying to find all the parts. Um, I don't like I understand that it's probably a market somewhere and it's probably going to do well, but I also think that they did it in kind of a way that wasn't effective. Like I feel like honestly, I
Yes.
feel like they could have dominated with Xbox and PS4 the console market if they just made one and then sold it like crazy and had every Steam game on there. You know?
Yeah, so I mean, you're right. I think there's two conflicting thoughts here. You're right in that like the market is a little bit weird here, and that seems pretty sketchy to me. But on the other hand, I would also say that Valve has a track record for being very successful.
Yeah,
So, like, I'm not sure if they see something that, I mean, we or the average consumer doesn't.
yeah.
So, I don't know. I have no idea what they're thinking with this.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
But, I mean, we'll find out in November because that's when it
yeah, we
comes out.
will.
So,
Because you know, and I could see this going well, but I could also see it just flopping, and I could see them selling like 200,000 of these and just losing a lot of money.
yeah, I don't
So
know.
I will see it. We'll see how it goes. It's interesting.
All right, and then the last thing I had was, the Windows 10 release date was announced. I believe that's July 25th or something.
29th.
29th. Um, and I mean, I don't know what else what there is to talk about this other than to say like it's probably going to be better than both Windows 8 and Windows 7. So, I
Yep.
mean, it's a free upgrade, so I'll be jumping to that.
Yep. I actually already there's a button on my PC that says Get Windows 10.
Yep, I already did
Uh,
that.
yeah, so you can reserve a copy for yourself, um, which is cool. But yeah, I mean, I think it looks great. I don't know the full capabilities of it. I haven't watched any trailers or release press release stuff on it. But Microsoft is just genius at making operating systems. So
Yeah, well, yeah.
they're one of two, one of three.
I
So
was
no,
gonna
and
say Windows 8 wasn't like, I mean, some people love it, but I don't know.
well, I didn't think it was a problem. I think like it wasn't flashy. It doesn't look that nice. I'm looking at it right now. I didn't like the way it was set up. I spent 99.9% of my time on the desktop versus the tile format. But once you get the hang of it, it's pretty much just the same thing without the start button. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, my dad is actually talking to me about how they make these operating systems. They literally spend so much money on having people like sit in front of computers and just look at it and be like, "Hey, this doesn't look that great," or this is in a weird position or something like that. So they've like literally mastered everything about an operating system, which is cool.
I wonder how you extrapolate that to like a large population,
Yeah,
unless it's just a random sampling type of
could be.
mindset. All right, so I think that's the show. We've been recording for 56 minutes now.
Wow.
So
Nice.
yeah, so that's Filler Feed episode 11. Feel free to um, rate the video and all that fun stuff, and feel free to subscribe and follow Eric over at Eric W Jacobson on Twitter. And that's about
Indeedo.
it.
Cool.
So, see you guys later. Have a good one.